So, for example, vaccines. Vaccines have become into question. So the entire pro-abortion, this is what I find ironic. The entire pro-abortion movement said, pro-lifers are crazy to say vaccines are made from aborted stem cells. These are science deniers, sit down, shut up, they're anti-vaxxers, right? You're crazy if you believe that. Then Mike Pence, Vice President Mike Pence, because, Operation Warp Speed got a vaccine developed in record-breaking time that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden said they would never take, they wouldn't trust it, but then they got elected, they took the vaccine. Mike Pence goes, before he's out of office, gets the vaccine, and the article in Politico in Washington, D.C. is, Mike Pence takes vaccine made with aborted stem cells. He's inconsistent with his pro-life beliefs. So, yeah, there are vaccines. They use stem cells from aborted children. Those stem cell lines were derived in the 60s and 50s. There was, thanks to President Bush, a ban on deriving more aborted stem cells. So, for example, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for COVID-19 was made using the stem line of an aborted child. The Moderna vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, was not. However, we do not know whether or not those vaccines, when they made them, were tested on the aborted stem cell lines. We think that they were. And so there's a great division right now in the pro-life movement as to whether or not you can take the COVID vaccine. But other vaccines, so like the MMR, was developed using stem lines of aborted fetal stem cells. Now, the Catholic Church will say that you're not being complicit in that, and that it is ethical to still take those vaccines, even though they were derived off the stem cells of other human beings.
Okay, so would that stuff be still happening right now? And would you fight against it if companies were still using stem cells to?
Yeah, we do. I mean, that's why we've been speaking. I actually had a whole podcast episode a couple weeks ago about the COVID vaccines and what pro-lifers need to know. And the diocese, I think, of New Orleans came out and said that parishioners in their diocese should not take the Johnson & Johnson vaccine because there are other ethical alternatives that were derived not using aborted fetal stem cells. Yet the Johnson & Johnson team decided to use those derived stem cell lines, and it shouldn't have done that. It's absolutely horrific. Think about it from any other perspective, replace aborted child with, I don't know, a person who was experimented on Auschwitz and say, oh, we derived it from their stem cells. No human being would say, oh yeah, that's totally fine. Totally fine. But because we've dehumanized the preborn child, we're like, it's just a fetus. No, that was a little boy or that was a little girl that had a name. And we're deriving all of our vaccines, and they're using those stem cells for other kind of testing, like you mentioned with the Pepsi and the Mountain Dew. Yeah. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news on that one.